Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about foundation, so applying foundation, brushes, products to use, how to apply it, to kind of get a flawless looking finish. So if you're sort of a makeup beginner or you always struggle with getting your foundation looking as you would like, then hopefully this is going to give you some tips and tricks on how to achieve nice looking foundation. Okay. Let's go. So, step one to applying foundation is to firstly moisturise your skin beforehand. Moisturise your skin and just give it 5 or 10 minutes just to really let that moisture sink in and lock in before you begin to apply any makeup products. So when you have applied your foundation, when you've applied your moisturiser, then you would move on to your makeup. Now you can go straight in with foundation, but I always like to use a primer first. I find that it helps my foundation stay on longer. I think it looks better when it applies. I just prefer a primer, but it's not necessary. I just think that my makeup looks better and lasts longer when I do put a primer on first. That's what I'm going to do, and I am going to use today the Benefit POREfessional, an oldie but a goodie, and just give it a couple of minutes just to sink in before I put the foundation on. So I only need a real little bit of this and just really nice and gently rub that in. Okay, done. Step 2 complete. And then next we move on to foundation. So today I am going to use the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and this is in the shade 120. So then to apply your foundation, there is a bunch of different products that you can use. Again, you can go a couple of pounds, you can just use your fingers, which is free. Ooh. You can spend just a few pounds, you can spend probably up to £30 on a brush to apply your foundation. I will just tell you about the ones that I really like to use, being in my video and all, you know. So one of the first products that I really like to use, and it's very affordable, is the Real Techniques buffing brush. It's a really nice brush. It really kind of just blends the foundation out nice and quickly. It's quite a big head but not too big, so it still really works into the skin really nice, but kind of covers it without it taking forever and a day to do your foundation. And I think these are in like Boots and Superdrug, maybe like in between £8 and £10 for the brush. But they are just, it is a really good brush. So it's ever so slightly domed, but it's more flat than it is like round. So it just really like blends in and works into the skin really well. So I like that one a lot. I also use a lot the Morphe M439 brush. You can get this on I think it's cultbeauty.co.uk, and this is like a more domed effect brush, but again it's really nice. It's not too big that I feel like the product's going to like come away from where I want it to be, but it's big enough that it doesn't take me say ages to work the foundation into my skin. So yeah, I really do like these. Another product that I like to use a lot is either a beauty blender or a Real Techniques beauty sponge. Both do the same job, both are really good. The Real Techniques beauty sponge is a little bit more affordable, I think. I think these are maybe about £10 each, and I think the Real Techniques beauty sponges are maybe £5 each. These are really super good for a very flawless looking finish. The only downside to it is you use these damp, and you'll probably find you use more product because this will soak up a lot of product, whereas the brushes, obviously they will keep the foundation on the face. This will soak up any excess that it doesn't need, so you might find you've applied a little bit more to get that full coverage look. But they are great. This is maybe my favourite way to apply foundation, just because it gives you a more super flawless looking finish. And again, all I would do with this is just dab the foundation onto the skin rather than wiping it I don't want to move the product, I want to dab it onto the skin and it will spread out itself, and I'll just dab it on so it's all nice and even and nice and blended out. Super easy, super fast way to do it, and they last for ages. I mean, this really does need a clean, but it's 2 minutes to clean it, leave it to dry overnight, and it's fine again for the morning. Wash it, sorry. So they're really good. So that is how I like to apply my foundation. So we're gonna go ahead and do it now. Now that I've talked for ages and I'm frankly sick of my own voice. So I like to start with just one pump of foundation, apply, blend it out, and then if I feel like I need more, which I usually do because I like full coverage, I'll then go in with a second pump. So I just prefer, because let me say, this is just the way that I do my foundation. Same with all makeup, there are so many different ways to apply it, but I like to dot it all over my face, nice and evenly. And then we will blend it out. So I think I'll start with the Morphe M439 brush, and we're just going to dab it all across the face. Just really take your time. What's also really important with your foundation is to bring it down your neck. Now mine is pretty much the same shade, but it's still really important just to drag it down, just to make sure that everything blends in together. So I'm going to put a second pump on and follow the exact same process. So that is my foundation that is on. Now before I set my foundation, I will always apply concealer. I will do it to brighten certain areas like my very tired looking under eyes, and also any blemishes or any imperfections that I might want to cover up. Concealer will help me do that. Now if you are looking to brighten up certain parts, let's say I will be brightening up under my eyes, I ideally want to be using something which is lighter than how my skin looks now. Whereas if I'm looking for something to cover up any blemishes or imperfections, then I want to be looking for something the same shade as what my skin is. So I'll use two different products for this. I have the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which is similar to what my skin looks like now, and this is in the shade 10. Doesn't say a name, just says shade 10. That will be to cover up any imperfections. I'll be using also the Urban Decay Naked Concealer in the shade Light Neutral, which is lighter than my skin tone, just by one shade, and that will help brighten certain areas. So we'll start with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. So I have a few little blemishes down here, and then maybe just around the nose area because I get quite red in that area, so it needs a little bit added extra coverage. And I think I don't have too many, maybe a little blemish there, little one up there. I think that's fine. Probably don't need that much, but okay. So for concealer, either of the concealers, I just like to blend it out with a sponge. So I've got the Damp Beauty Blender, and I'm just going to dab that into the skin. So I'm not wiping it, I'm not moving the concealer, I'm dabbing it into the skin, like so. Again, we don't want to wipe it across the face, we don't want to move that foundation that we've just taken time to apply. All we want to do is add extra on top of it, which is why we just tap the beauty sponge onto the skin rather than dragging it backwards and forwards. Okay, good. So we've got that, and now I will apply the Urban Decay Naked Concealer to the areas that I want to brighten. which is definitely under these damn eyes. So again, I like to apply a generous amount. I'd also like to lighten up the forehead a little bit and down the centre of the nose. And then maybe a little bit on the chin. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is basically lightening under the eyes and the centre of the face, so that's going to stand out. So same again, using exactly the same sponge and tapping that product into the skin. And again, when I'm doing under the eyes, I'll go to the pointy bit of the Beauty Blender. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to start, say, low where we put the product and blend it out, and I'm going backwards, say I'm tapping, not swiping. So I'm going to tap the product, but I am going backwards and forwards into the eye. Now what that will do is if you just keep blending one way, so keep going the same way, the product is going to stick into any lines that you've got. Whereas if you move backwards and forwards, you'll confuse the product and it won't stick to the lines, it will smooth over the lines, so it will help reduce the look of any wrinkles or lines that you might have around the eye area. So now I'm going to slowly start to tap up as well, so I'm getting right under the eye area but only with the leftover product, so I'm not putting loads on there to begin with, I'm just using the remaining product which is on the sponge to blend up into that area. So it is getting the coverage, it will be lighter, but it's not having too much, so it's not going to, say, make them lines more obvious and more amplified. And then what I'll also do is bring it over the eyelid as well. If you've got like veiny eyelids or just darker eyelids, just bringing the concealer up into the eye, onto the eye, top of the eye, will again look for a more flawless finish and a more even skin tone. So there we go, makes much of a difference. Ooh. And we are done. The final step to finishing your foundation routine is to set the foundation and concealer. Now what I like to do is set under my eyes first with a smaller brush, and I always use the Real Techniques setting brush. It's just a really nice fluffy angled brush, really easy to get into that area. I do want to use a tiny little bit under my eyes. Then I use a bigger brush for the rest of the face, and I've just got this Eco Tools, like a nice fluffy face brush. I got this from Boots. Again, I think it might have been about £9 or £10. So in order for this video to not be ridiculously long and for you to get a little bit too pissed off on hearing me talk, I am going to skip now to a completed face of makeup with the power of editing. Okay guys, so with a touch of editing, that is now the rest of my makeup complete. If only it was that quick in real life, huh? Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it useful and you managed to pick up some tips and tricks for how you can perfect your foundation routine. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.